Good afternoon, everyone. I am Montgomery County Council President Gabe Albornoz, and today is Tuesday, July 12th. It's a privilege to be with all of you today. We begin today with presentations and a proclamation by Councilmember Jawando recognizing our Teacher of the Year. Councilmember Jawando, and everybody who's here for that proclamation, please come forward in front of the dais.
Going to be joined by the chair of our Education and Culture Committee, Craig Rice. You come on up, Mr. Dunn. And Miss Dunn, I'm glad you decided to come up. And we have folks from MCPS as well. You can come up as well. Yeah, because we're going to have you all lavish praise on our Teacher of the Year. So it is my really distinct honor to have the chance to recognize and celebrate Mr. Jonathan Dunn. And he is what I call a unicorn. There are a lot of teachers that do great work every day, but we have a need in our country, in our county, for more teachers like Mr. Dunn. The teaching workforce is vast majority female. Did a great job, 80+%. That's about 8% African American, but 2% African American male. And so that's why I call teachers like Mr. Dunn unicorns, because they have a dramatic impact. Not only is he a great teacher, he's influencing people and being an example for a population that needs to see people that look like them in front of the classroom. And I want to give you a little bit about him, and then I'll turn it over to my colleague, Councilmember Rice, and then we'll read the proclamation, and then you'll be able to say something. So that's just so you know the order. I know teachers like organization. Mr. Dunn was awarded the MCPS Teacher of the Year Award and is now one of the 24 teachers in the running for Maryland Teacher of the Year. So we're going to be pulling for our hometown. When's that, and when do we find that out? Do you know? When is that? Do you know? I think it's August or so. Yeah, soon. So we're going to be hoping for that. He's a general choral music teacher at Sherwood High School, educating our students grade 9 through 12 for the past 9 years, and has been with MCPS for 19 years. Mr. Dunn also serves as a restorative justice coach. And if you all have been following our work here at the council, it's part of our work to make sure that when there is harm, when there is conflict, that we restore both the person who was harmed and the person who committed the harm to get the best outcome. And it's a big investment we've made on the council as part of our holistic investments in MCPS. So he's a restorative justice coach at Sherwood, which provides vital support and services to all of our students, helping them resolve conflict productively, safe, and in a respectful manner. MCPS is incredibly lucky to have Mr. Dunn, as all of our students and educators and community are. And I want to thank you for your dedication and your work and all that you'll continue to do. And we hope we get another 19 out of you, okay, because you look pretty young. So let's give Mr. Dunn a big round of applause. And I want to turn it over to my good colleague and friend, the Education Chair, Councilmember Craig Rice.
Well, thank you very much, Councilmember Jawando. And let me just start off by saying we've asked so much of our teachers as of recent, and it is so good to see people who are doing it because they love what they do. And it is very clear that those who love what they do excel beyond what it is that is asked. And so it is no surprise that we have folks like Mr. Dunn, folks who dedicate themselves inside and outside of the classroom. That means so much to so many in our community and says a lot about who they are. As a mentor, as you heard, as a restorative justice coach, an organizer of field trips and extracurricular activities, welcoming to all to participate in his Rock and Revival, ensuring that everyone gets to play a part, is just so important. And one of the things, and I'm so happy that Councilmember Navarro joined us, because I remember when Councilmember Navarro was president and decided to create this new committee It was formerly the Education Committee, and we purposely changed it to the Education and Culture Committee. It is so good to see an arts and humanities teacher be our Montgomery County Teacher of the Year. We see so much in math, so much in science, English, all those kinds of things, and people forget how important the arts are in our community. The arts have saved so many people's lives in our community by reaching them when the typical school day could not. I know he could tell stories because I've heard them. And I will just say that it's refreshing to ensure and enshrine that we acknowledge the great work of our arts and humanities profession. So thank you, Mr. Dunn. I want to close by saying one thing. That's a quote, and it's interesting. My staff does a really good job of getting research on you, Mr. Dunn. Mr. Dunn's own words: having endured life in the classroom during the pandemic and the end result, which continues to profoundly impact our classroom students and families, I want to celebrate the commitment of educators across the region and the country for the amazing work, the difficult work done daily to support our families and our students. While we should do it each and every day, we are taking today as an opportunity to thank Mr. Dunn and all of the great teachers in Montgomery County Public Schools across this state and across this nation for their commitment to education, their dedication, their patience, and resilience through so much, and showing that they care about our kids. Thank you, and congratulations, Mr. Dunn.
Council Member Navarro, and I often say this is the entire Education and Culture Committee, my favorite committee. Council Member Navarro.
I know I had to crash the party a little bit here because as the third member of the Education Committee, just very briefly, I really want to say thank you. First, of course, congratulations, but thank you, because there is no doubt that as we experience such a stressful, prolonged period during the throes of the pandemic, which obviously we're not totally done with, I have to say that it is not right for us to try to just continue on as business as usual without acknowledging how difficult, how scary, how stressful, how complicated it was, particularly for our teachers, for our families, for our students. We still hear stories about it, and I am a firm believer in talking things out, because I think this is how we can sort through experiences that have been quite traumatic, and I think we should call it that. It was a traumatic experience, but all of you were extraordinary heroes and sheroes that stepped up and gave everything from your heart while you were trying to keep your own families safe. You did everything in your power to mitigate the impact on these young students who were also fearful and were disoriented by this interruption. And so thank you. Congratulations for leading the charge and being a leader during this time. And again, please let everyone know that we are just so humbled by the dedication and the quality and the love that our MCPS teachers and all of the staff have shown during this pandemic. Congratulations.
I told you we were going to lay it on thick. So now we're going to hear from Mr. Christopher Turk, who's the Director of School Support and Wellbeing at MCPS. Is that you? I hope I got that right. Okay, good. Come on.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Good afternoon, esteemed County Council. My name is Christoph Turk, and I am the Team 3 Director of Student Support and Wellbeing with the Office of School Support and Wellbeing in Montgomery County Public Schools. I'm here on behalf of our Superintendent, Dr. McKnight, our Chief of School Support and Wellbeing, Ms. Rochelle Rubin, and our Team 3 Associate Superintendent, Ms. Diane Morris, who each send their warmest regards to the County Council and a hearty congratulations to Mr. Dunn for this important recognition for his remarkable accomplishment as MCPS Teacher of the Year. I would also like to extend my deepest gratitude to the Honorable County Council leaders for prioritizing this space to affirm and celebrate Mr. Dunn's extraordinary service to our Sherwood students, families, and community. His unwavering dedication to the young people of Sherwood High School is a testament to the inspiring power of student-first service and meaningful instruction that can galvanize creativity, innovation, and ingenuity. Mr. Dunn, you are truly a difference maker that has left an indelible footprint on the Sherwood community and our school system at large. I am honored by the opportunity to say a few words about Mr. Dunn and his unyielding commitment to excellence. In my role, I have the exciting experience of working alongside the principals and school leaders throughout the Sherwood cluster. At Sherwood High School, Mr. Britton has embraced Mr. Dunn's leadership and passion for his craft, which centers on the pedagogy of music and the engaging, intentional experiences he engineers both within and outside of his classroom for students to thrive and succeed. Mr. Dunn has a magnetic presence. His energy, expertise, and will are contagious and will leave you inspired to be the best version of yourself. His talent is without boundaries, and he is a vision-driven teacher. I have seen this firsthand when I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Dunn shortly after he was announced as the MCPS Teacher of the Year. We met in Mr. Britton's office and had a rich discussion that ranged from his journey and experiences, his laser-like focus on the classroom learning environment, while also touching on the salient importance of community, relationships, and family. I was in awe of Mr. Dunn's spirit of optimism and his deeply rooted sense of conviction and purpose in his work. He loves teaching young people, but just as memorable was his student-centered approach to nurturing the unique and individual gifts and talents within every child he encounters, and his complete devotion to bringing this to fruition in every space he shares with the students at Sherwood High School. I left the conversation invigorated and inspired, but also deeply grateful that Mr. Dunn is a teacher and leader within our Montgomery County community. So it came as no surprise when a few months later I was sitting on the graduation stage and heard a thunderous applause and electric response among students, parents, families, staff, and community members when Mr. Britton mentioned Mr. Dunn's accomplishment in his remarks. The collective respect, admiration, and joy on display that day is a testament to the powerful relationships Mr. Dunn has developed and the lasting legacy of his service to young people. Mr. Dunn, congratulations once more, and thank you from the bottom of my and our heart for all that you do for our students, families, and community. Please know that our MCPS community is behind you, and we are cheering you on when you go to engage with this process and become the statewide Teacher of the Year. You are appreciated, and you are an inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was remarkable. And Councilmember Navarro alluded to this, and so did Councilmember Rice. Our teachers have never been more important than they are. They've always been important. But right now, with what we've gone through and as we're working to come back, they've never been more important. So that energy and enthusiasm and attention to individual student need, we're going to need it now more than ever. I'm going to bring you up, Mr. Dunn, but before I do, I'm going to give you another little shout out. A birdie told me that you went to Catholic University for undergrad, which is where I went for undergrad. And I'm assuming you spent some time at Hartke Theater, which is the great music arts center there at Catholic University. And we have had people sing at this mic before. So there's nothing holding you back, no pressure. But with that, our MCPS Teacher of the Year, one more round of applause, Mr. Jonathan Dunn.
I just want to say I'm so deeply humbled by the honor and the recognition. And as I've said, at every opportunity that's been granted to me, to every MCPS teacher that survived the COVID experience and walked into your school from late August of 2020 all the way through now, until now, you're Teacher of the Year. And we lose sight of the challenges that our kids have presented and the needs that our families have presented. And I've had very courageous conversations with my own person as I've looked deep within and recognized that before I can teach the content that I'm so deeply passionate about, I'm first charged with the responsibility to show kindness and love and compassion and to live it daily in my interactions with kids. If I don't meet them where they are at that moment, everything that I have in terms of content, knowledge, expertise means nothing. I need to validate, I need to affirm, I need to encourage, I need to lift up and build up and strengthen the foundation of a kid who is standing before me hurting. The irony of that statement is the fact that as I stand here and celebrate the applause and the recognition that's been bestowed upon me, I'm humbled by the fact that as a 47-year-old man, I remember all of the moments that I've had as a child until now that have impacted and profoundly affected my life. I grew up in Prince George's County Public Schools, and I can tell you that there were experiences being a young African-American student coming through a system that was trying to find its legs as far as, diversity and inclusion, and validating people's, cultural experiences and identities. I left that experience being very wounded, very upset, very hurt, and I still remember all of those negative interactions. And when I entered the classroom with the one hope that I'm doing this because I want to make sure that no child under the hands of my leadership has to experience what I went through as a kid. No one should have to learn or experience what it's like to be called stupid just because you don't understand something. Somebody shouldn't have to walk into a class and feel as if their identity is ignored or viewed as less than simply because you have a tinge of melanin in your skin. We all have value, we all matter, we all mean something, and we were put on this earth to make a difference and to contribute something to the greater humanity that we call the world around us. I'm grateful to MCPS and this group of leaders who's given me an opportunity and a platform to simply walk into a room and be my authentic self. I've been able to walk into a room and share the content that I'm so deeply passionate about, because if it weren't for the gift of music, if it weren't for my piano teacher, Mrs. Edith Pfister, who's gone home to be with the Creator, I don't know where I would be. Because she looked at me and said, you might not be the best mathematician yet. You might not be able to be the best reader yet. But look at your ability to sit down and move people by sitting at an instrument. Look at your ability to master the various concepts that are viewed as challenging for you, and yet you can navigate every time signature that's presented before you. You can do math. You can read. You can process information. And it was through her faith and her putting me in experiences or situations that allowed me to explore it all that I found me. And that is my job as a teacher, to help every kid, regardless of where they are in life, to find themselves and to see themselves in the content that we sing or that we teach, and see themselves as a faithful participant in this whole thing called community. Montgomery County, to you as a council, to you as a community, I thank you for the opportunity to stand as your representative. I'm hopeful that just as the Creator opened up an opportunity for me to speak to you today, that as Maryland State Teacher of the Year, that will be afforded to me as well. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all that you've done to strengthen this man on his journey. I'm eternally grateful. Thank you.
Well, I think we got that pick right. We're going to read this proclamation between the three of us here, and we will then move on. This is a proclamation of the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland. Whereas Montgomery County Public Schools, MCPS, celebrates the high caliber of skill and professionalism of more than 13,000 teachers in 209 schools, 210 shortly. They are inextricably linked and an inextricably important component of our school system's success. And
whereas teachers have profound influences on our young people, playing one of a few key formative roles in a young person's life. Teachers mold worldviews and expand horizons, develop character, and build critical thinking. And
whereas MCPS teachers dedicate themselves professionally and personally to be worthy of their responsibilities, Nearly 87% of our teachers hold a master's degree or equivalent, demonstrating a commitment to lifelong education and expertise in their content areas and their craft as educators. And whereas
many of us here today can name one or more teachers. We just heard who your teacher was. Mine was Mr. Williams, my fourth grade math teacher at Oakview Elementary, who left an indelible mark on us through their guidance, support, nurturing, and
whereas MCPS Teacher of the Year nominees have high expectations for and engage students of all backgrounds and abilities in their classroom. Nominees also contribute to positive school culture and connect with their school's community. Montgomery County nominates recipients for the Maryland Teacher of the Year Award, and
we'll stop our musical chairs. We're doing that for you. Whereas Jonathan M. Dunn has embodied all the qualities of MCPS Teacher of the Year. He enriches Sherwood High School and its music program with his talents and betters the school community through his work, including as a restorative justice lead. Now therefore be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland hereby celebrates Jonathan M. Dunn as the Montgomery County Public Schools Teacher of the Year and congratulates him for his impact on our community. Presented on this day, the 12th of July in the year 2022, signed by myself and Craig Rice, our chair, and Councilmember Navarro on behalf of the entire council. Let's give one more big round of applause to Mr. Dunn. And my colleagues, if you want to come down, we'll take a picture, please. Yeah, thank you.
All right, we are slightly ahead of schedule here, so let's take a 5-minute recess, and then we will begin at 1:30. All right, can we get a countdown?
We are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. We will now resume our council session on this Tuesday, July 12th. We start with general business. Madam Clerk, do we have any agenda changes or announcements?
Good afternoon, Council President, Council Vice President, Council members. We have a few updates to today's agenda as follows. As may have been noted, the proclamation recognizing the Maryland Israel Development Center by Council President Albornoz and County Executive Elrich was removed from the agenda, as this already occurred in June. Agenda item 18C, the introduction of a resolution to define and address anti-Semitism, has been updated to be sponsored by the full council. Agenda item 18O has been added. This is the introduction of supplemental appropriation 2310 to the FY23 operating budget, Montgomery College Ignite Hub, in the amount of $260,000. The source of funds is the general fund, undesignated reserves. A public hearing and action is scheduled for July 26, 2022 at 1:30 p.m. Finally, the county executive has added Ms. Vivian Yao to be appointed to the county's early care and education coordinating entity. The confirmation of Ms. Yao is tentatively scheduled for July 26, 2022. There were no petitions received this week. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We now go on to the second item on the agenda, which is a public hearing. This is a public hearing on Bill 1022, Personnel and Human Resources Paid Parental Leave. This bill would require the county to provide paid parental leave to county employees prior to the effective date of the State Family and Medical Leave Insurance Program, require the county to pay an employee's salary minus benefits under the State Family and Medical Leave Insurance Program for certain leave taken under the State Family and Medical Leave Insurance Program, and generally amend personnel and human resource laws affecting county employees. A joint GO and HHS committee session is tentatively scheduled for July 14th. Persons wishing to submit additional material for the council's consideration should do so by July 8th. We do have speakers for this public hearing, and our first speaker is Ms. Zelda Wafer-Jones, who will be testifying virtually. And you have 2 minutes for your testimony. Oh, 4 minutes, I'm sorry, because also testifying on number 3.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Zelda Wafer-Jones, and I'm the Vice Chair of the Community Action Board. As advocates for the low-income community, the Community Action Board strongly supports Council Bill 1022. Our board's longtime priorities have included policy and programs such as the EITC, child care subsidies, and work supports that help people move towards self-sufficiency. We applaud the county's efforts to increase the minimum wage, ban the box on employment applications, and to require paid sick and safe leave. Policy changes such as these help people find employment that pays a living wage and maintain such employment. Guaranteeing 240 hours of paid parental leave for county employees, as this bill does, will provide a critical support to our workforce. While the county's current parental leave policy allows for up to 720 hours of time off following the birth or adoption of a child, employees must use their own accumulated leave. If an employee has no paid leave left, their only option is to use unpaid leave or simply return to work much sooner than they might have preferred. This is a difficult situation for a new parent who wishes to spend more time bonding with their child and may also be recovering physically from childbirth. As well, new parents may be facing new financial burdens. Our board does not believe employees should have to choose between spending their time with their new child and receiving an income. We greatly appreciate that county government employment already provides numerous benefits, and for many a living wage. This is extremely important here in Montgomery County, where the self-sufficiency standard, which measures the actual cost of living in a given geographic location for a certain family type, is more than $103,000 for a family of 3, with 1 working adult, 1 infant, and 1 preschooler. We also note that this is an equity issue because in all areas of employment, 31% of women, 44% of African Americans, and 54% of Hispanic county residents have incomes below the self-sufficiency standard. We strongly encourage the County Council to pass this bill. We are proud that Montgomery County has been on the forefront of so many policies, often leading the way for other jurisdictions and for the state. Just as the county's initial living wage legislation and minimum wage legislation have expanded over time, we hope that this bill will lead to additional expansions of work supports for all employees in the county. Thank you. I also have testimony for Bill 1122. The Community Action Board, which advocates on behalf of the county's low-income community, supports County Council Bill 1122. The Community Action Board advocates for policies that provide added support to workers and remove barriers that people face when trying to remain in employment that provides a self-sufficiency wage. Requiring county buildings to provide lactation rooms does just this. It provides critical support to county employees and removes an employment barrier by allowing new parents to breastfeed or pump for as long as they wish, even after they return to work. As the governing body for Head Start, our board has a strong interest in the health and well-being of young children. Research reveals numerous health benefits for newborns that are associated with breastfeeding, including a lower risk of SIDS, asthma, and type 1 diabetes. In order to maximize these benefits, new parents should have the opportunity to breastfeed for as long as they would like, and lack of sufficient space to pump at work should not stand in the way of that. It is important to note that lower income women are less likely to breastfeed than higher income women. There are many reasons for this, including the fact that lower income women often work low wage jobs in areas such as food service or retail, where there's less flexibility with their schedules. For some hourly employees, stepping away from work to pump may mean lower wages. Our board therefore recommends expanding the requirements of this bill to employees outside of county government. Women in all sectors would benefit from a private space for pumping. We ask that you keep this in mind as additional policies are being developed, especially in an area like Montgomery County, where the self-sufficiency standard for a family of 3 with 1 adult, 1 infant, and 1 preschooler is an astounding $1,322. We ask the council to pass this bill and to continue to explore other opportunities to expand work supports and benefits for all Montgomery County residents. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Next, we will hear from Ms. Jody Finkelstein. Thank you, Ms. Finkelstein. You have 2 minutes for your testimony.
Good afternoon. My name is Jody Finkelstein, and it is absolutely a pleasure to be here on behalf of the County Executive to discuss Bill 1022, which amends Chapter 33, Personnel and Human Resources of the Montgomery County Code. I should note that the wonderful Donna Rojas, Chair of the Montgomery County Commission for Women, will be testifying separately on behalf of the Commission for Women. County Executive Elrich is pleased to support this bill, providing our employees with 6 weeks and 240 hours of paid parental leave at full salary demonstrates our absolute strong commitment to our workforce as well as their families. This new benefit will allow our employees who are new parents with paid time off to care for their newborns or recently adopted children, enhance parental bonding, and increase gender equity while both parents will have more time to participate in their child care duties. In addition, paid parental leave will allow workers to care for themselves, which can in turn improve their physical and mental health, enhance productivity, enhance retention and labor participation. Another added benefit will be our ability as an employer to be more competitive with our peer jurisdictions and the private sector in attracting and retaining talented staff. As a new employee benefit, the county should enter into a memorandum of agreement with the 3 employer labor unions, and our Office of Labor Relations will begin that work. Our internal review of the bill indicates that there is a need for further conversation about codifying Section 33-28 at this time. Executive branch staff believe there are complexities that require additional work and codification that can stand on its own later and separate from the establishment of the paid parental leave. We very much look forward to working with each and every one of you, and thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Finkelstein, for your testimony and, more importantly, your leadership. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Ms. Donna Rojas.
Good afternoon.
You have to hit the button right by your mic. Yeah. Got
Good
it.
afternoon. I'm Donna Rojas, Chair of the Montgomery County Commission for Women, and I'm here to testify on behalf of the Commission. As we celebrate 50 years of service, the Commission continues to advocate and provide support to women and girls in Montgomery County. We thank you for bringing paid parental leave for Montgomery County employees, Bill 1022, and lactation rooms in county buildings, Bill 1122, into fruition. During my testimony, I will be speaking in support of both bills. Having a baby or an adopted child is a blessing, but it is met with many challenges. Paid parental leave and being able to breastfeed children should not be an additional challenge. As a former county employee, I knew employees who had to use their leave or have leave donated to them. Parents need time with their newborns during the first weeks and months. This helps to form a bond that lasts a lifetime. Not having this kind of time with your child creates additional stress when parenting is essential. With the passing of this bill, parents could recover from childbirth, bond with their newborn or newly adopted child, and there is a healthy development which occurs, and this improves maternal health. In today's economy, parental leave is a low-cost way to keep workers employed and help workers meet their children's needs. The American Psychological Association reports having paid parental leave impacts the entire family's physical health, mental well-being, and stability. The American Association of University Women also states that the women and mothers labor force participation rate has increased significantly over the past 40 years. The number of dual income and single parent working households has skyrocketed, even in our very county. We must pass this bill to guarantee paid parental leave for county employees to bond with their new children. Paid parental leave is a win for everyone, workers, children, and the county government. As we talk about paid parental leave, we also want to discuss the lactation rooms in county buildings. Women who choose to breastfeed should be allowed to do so in our county buildings in peace, with clean rooms fully equipped with electrical outlets and sinks. We are witnessing a critical need to increase breastfeeding options with formula shortages. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services business case for breastfeeding helps us justify that implementing this bill can lower health costs, reduce absenteeism, and improve employee morale and retention. The county will show that they support new mothers through this legislation. I've seen county employees who had to use other employees' offices or use the bathroom to express their milk. I will be a new grandmother next month. If my daughter-in-law worked for the county, I would want to know that she can express her milk in a healthy and sanitary environment. And this is important for current employees who are breastfeeding. Approval of this bill will create a more inclusive workplace and make mothers feel comfortable when they return or are at work. I know that collectively this can happen for our Montgomery County employees. This concludes my testimony, and I look forward to the passing of both pieces of legislation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rojas. Next, we will hear from Pat Grant on behalf of the African American Health Program Executive Committee.
Good afternoon. I'm Pat Grant. I'm representing the African American Health Program Executive Committee. We support both the Paid Parental Leave Act and the Right to Nourish Act. I applaud Councilmember Friesen and all the members of the council for shining the light on the need to have paid parental leave for county employees. The Paid Parental Leave Act, which will serve as a supplement until the State Family and Medical Leave Insurance Program takes effect in 2025, appears to be an excellent gap measure. The Right to Nourish Act for lactation rooms in county buildings will be extremely beneficial for parents or birthing people who breastfeed, since it will provide them with a private space to pump and allow for reasonable breaks so that they can pump. The AHP Executive Committee feels the Parental Leave Act will be a tremendous benefit in helping to balance family and work, which is critical to the many working families, especially Black working mothers, in AHP's program, which has a primary focus on reducing or eliminating infant mortality and maternal mortality. We know that many of these parents cannot afford to take leave without pay to care for their loved ones. AHP Executive Committee is also concerned about a growing senior population and has worked closely with the Black seniors in the county. We also feel it's important for employees to be able to take leave if necessary as caregivers of their aging parents and other family members, in addition to taking leave to care for their infants and children. I recently reviewed a study by Dr. Bahir Sharif Trask, who is an expert specializing in globalization, family and personal relationships, and work-life issues. In the study, by Dr. Trask, it was found that an unpaid leave policy has negative health challenges for a new parent and baby. Paid medical leave has proven to be a contributor to higher birth weight babies and lower infant mortality. AHP feels this is critical since Black babies are at highest risk for infant mortality, and low birth weight babies are one of the main reasons that Black babies die. When a paid leave policy is in effect, employers benefit from lower rate of employee turnover and more productive and loyal staff. In states such as California, Rhode Island, and New Jersey, where paid medical leave is mandated, many employers have enjoyed cost savings and have not experienced abuses of the system. The African American Health Program Executive Committee also supports the Right to Nourish Act. Proper lactation facilities for lactations are ways to help parents, birthing people, to achieve their goals of breastfeeding and remove a structural barrier to breastfeeding, as stated by the American Academy of Pediatrics. The African American Health Program is a strong proponent of breastfeeding and has successfully supported our Black mothers in breastfeeding. The National Business Group on Health reports that milk production is a constant, ongoing process. Every time the nursing baby consumes milk, the body of the mother's or the birthing people body automatically makes more milk to replace it. It is important to avoid the breasts of the mothers or the birthing people becoming overly full and uncomfortable, which could lead to an infection and causing the baby not to breastfeed. This is why a fully equipped lactation facility at work is important, so that the milk can be expressed or removed properly. Other considerations for your bill. President Biden has replaced the term pregnant mothers with birthing people to address gender equity in his 2022 budget as well as the 2023 budget. So you might want to take that in consideration. Again, we support both bills. Thank you for your time. And thank you for this bill, both bills.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grant. Next, we will hear from Julie Grimes. Is Ms. Grimes here? I don't see her. And last on this measure, we're going to hear from Oyen Thompson.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, council members, for the opportunity to testify on this very important topic. My name is Oyen Thompson, and I am a Montgomery County employee. I am in strong support of Bill 10-22 for paid parental leave. As it promotes, this legislation will improve maternal health, allow for parents to have greater involvement in care, and enhance the economic security of many families who support county government operations. When I gave birth to our first child, who you may have heard in the back a few seconds ago, on December 12, 2021, my husband and I were overcome with the natural feelings of joy and that little bit of nervousness that we think every new parent feels. We once asked a colleague his thoughts on parenthood, and he responded, "Wah, wah, you no sleep." And boy, was he right. We quickly realized you can't always prepare for the unknown, but with the support of amazing family and friends, we began our new journey. Although I anticipated it, I didn't imagine the impact that the lack of this legislation would have on me. Quality time spent with baby soon became riddled with feelings of uncertainty and anxiety about my economic security. When my son was just a month and a half, I had exhausted all my sick, annual, and personal leave and was not ready to forfeit the necessary bonding and physical healing time I needed to return to work. I felt that for the 6 years I've served this wonderful county and its amazing communities, 6 weeks of paid parental leave would have granted me the security that I needed. Thankfully, a colleague graciously donated me 100 of her own sick hours, but this should not be the norm. Her generosity granted me more time for sweet cuddles, learning the parenting ropes, and those nonstop diaper changes. And for that, I'm ever grateful. I wholeheartedly believe that Montgomery County's talented workforce would greatly benefit from the Paid Parental Leave Act. It is my hope that Bill 10-22 will come into fruition and grant the parents of a newborn child, a stillborn child, a newly adopted child, or a newly placed foster child the financial security they need. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your beautiful family. All right, that concludes our speaker for this public hearing, and so this public hearing is now closed. We move on to our next public hearing. This is a public hearing on Bill 1122, Buildings, Lactation Rooms, and County Buildings Required. This bill would require county buildings to include a lactation room for county employees to provide alternative accommodations, require employees to receive break time for lactation needs, require the county executive to establish personnel regulations for certain accommodations, require certain educational materials posted on the county's website, and generally amend the law regarding regarding buildings and personnel regulations. A joint government operations and HHS committee session is tentatively scheduled for July 14th. There are a couple of speakers for this public hearing as well. Our first public hearing, our first public speaker is Charlene Day, and is virtual. Oh, well.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charlene Day. I'm with the African American Health Program. The African American Health Program is a strong proponent of breastfeeding for our clients. I am an OB clinical nurse specialist with the African American Health Program, also known as the SMILE program, which stands for Start More Infants Living Equally Healthy. The African American program has been successful in getting Black mothers to breastfeed. Our babies that are 0 to 3 months of age breastfeed 100%. Our babies that are 0 to 6 months of age breastfeed 90%. And our babies that are 0 to 12 months breastfeed 65%. I am also a labor and delivery nurse for over 30 years and have witnessed the importance and benefits and as well as success stories in regards to breastfeeding. I have assisted mothers frustrated with nursing come to enjoy nursing and continue to feed their babies for over 8 months. The benefits of lactation rooms provides a private space for mothers to nurse and promote health to the mother and the baby throughout their nursing time. Thank you very much for listening to me today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Next, we will hear from Jane Balcom, who I believe is testifying virtually.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today in support of Bill 1122, Lactation Rooms in County Buildings. My name is Dr. Jane Balcom, and I'm a professor at the School of Nursing of Notre Dame of Maryland University, a board-certified pediatric nurse practitioner, and a board-certified lactation consultant. I have had a lactation consulting practice in Montgomery County for many years, focused on support for breastfeeding women in the workplace. I've worked with several employers, including a large federal government agency located in Montgomery County, to assist them in providing a comprehensive workplace lactation program for their employees. As you've heard, there's much scientific evidence that human milk is the best food for human infants, and that babies who receive breast milk are healthier than their formula-fed counterparts. There is also much scientific evidence that mothers who breastfeed their infants receive many health benefits for themselves. That is why the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, with continuation of breastfeeding while solid foods are added to the infant's diet in the second 6 months of life. However, continued breastfeeding can only occur if the mother's breasts are being emptied on a regular basis. Missing even one feeding or milk expression session can result in a serious decrease in milk supply for the mother. Although it is possible to regain milk supply through increased feeding and or pumping sessions, it can be difficult and time-consuming for the mother. Many women end up losing their milk supply when they are not able to express milk while working. In this time when infant formula is in short supply, it is especially important for organizations to do all they can to provide the time and space that new mothers need for milk expression at work. Mothers who wish to continue to breastfeed after returning to work have relatively few and simple needs. They need a clean and private place near their workstation where they can express their milk when separated from their baby at work, and they need 2 or 3 short breaks during the workday. They also need a measure of organizational support so that they feel comfortable taking the time they need for milk expression. Major obstacles in the work site can include inflexible work schedules, non-supportive supervisors, and restrictive organizational policies.
Ms. Balcom, thank you so much for your testimony. Your time is up, but we really do appreciate it. We have your written test. We will make sure we get your written testimony, but thank you very much for joining us today.
Yes, I've provided the written testimony. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we will hear from Ms. Luisa Cardona.
Hello, my name is Luisa Cardona. I'm Mid-County Regional Service Center Director, and I'm here to present testimony on behalf of County Executive Mark Elrich on Bill 1122. The County Executive strongly supports retrofitting existing county buildings, strongly supports providing sanitary private lactation rooms in county buildings, and has directed all county buildings to be designed and constructed with a dedicated lactation room moving forward. The county executive also supports retrofitting existing county buildings with lactation rooms. There is a cost for this work that will require additional appropriation, especially to design and install plumbing required by the bill. The Department of General Services and Office of Management and Budget estimates the cost of placing a lactation room in each county building immediately will be in the range of $9 million. As a result, we ask for existing buildings only. For an amendment that existing buildings only be allowed the requirement of a, hold on. We ask for existing buildings only, the bill be amended to allow the requirement of a sink with running water within the lactation room be allowed to be waived if running water is nearby and accessible. We also ask that the bill be amended to allow for adequate time for County Department of General Services to assess each of the county's 430 buildings to properly determine the total cost and expedite the county's ability to move quickly to provide lactation rooms in each county building where that can be easily done. The bill allows for 6 months for implementation, but we believe that time frame should only begin after the assessment of all county buildings has been completed. Many office spaces may need to be retrofitted to meet the requirements of the bill and will requiring scheduling of outside vendors. Finally, to be consistent with state and federal law, the bill should be amended to state that an employee cannot be compensated for time that is spent expressing milk at work. Thank you. I also wanted to personally thank you and thank Councilmember Friedman for sponsoring this bill, and co-sponsors Hooker, Albornoz, Katz, and Navarro. As a lactating mother, I personally have experienced the difficulty of returning to work while nourishing a young child at home, and really want to thank you for pushing forward legislation that supports children and family health in the county.
Thank you very much for your testimony. I'll note this was one of those where unanimously all of my colleagues co-sponsored this bill as well. We are proud to be supportive of it. Thank you so much, Ms. Cardona. Next, we will hear from Selena Mendy Singleton.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Selena Mendy Singleton, and I am a member of the Montgomery County Racial Equity and Social Justice Committee, and I am testifying on behalf of the committee. The committee strongly supports the Right to Nourish Act, an act to include lactation rooms in county buildings for county employees. Successful lactation is inextricably linked to the health and well-being of mothers and infants and is a racial equity and social justice issue. The act is a critical investment in a determinant, breastfeeding, that improves maternal and infant health outcomes generally, and specifically improves the outcomes and promotes the equity of women and infants of color. Working moms often discover that returning to work presents significant breastfeeding challenges. Women often face rigid work hours, limited lunch hour and breaks for pumping milk, inadequate spaces to pump milk, a lack of privacy for breastfeeding or expressing milk, and no place to store expressed milk. However, studies have demonstrated a positive and encouraging relationship between workplace lactation support and interventions and increased rates of both breastfeeding and the duration of breastfeeding. Breastfeeding disparities and inequities have persisted in families of color. Systemic and structural obstacles such as inequitable access to lactation resources and assistance is persistent. According to the CDC, women and infants of color experience racism and systemic and structural barriers during the perinatal period. Increasing breastfeeding rates is a critical public health strategy to address maternal mortality and morbidity and infant mortality. Data suggests that community-based strategies, government plans, and maternity care policies and practices that encourage breastfeeding have been successful in enhancing breastfeeding rates. However, breastfeeding inequities and disparities in communities of color persist. This legislation, by protecting, promoting, and supporting breastfeeding, is one step toward a multifaceted public health strategy to address and reduce all health disparities and inequities towards all mothers and infants, especially mothers and infants of color. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Singleton. That is it for our speakers for this public hearing, and so this public hearing is now closed. That moves us on to item number 4. This is a public hearing on Bill 1222, Electricity Board of Electrical Examiners, Licenses, Permits, Requirements. This bill would amend the jurisdiction of the County Board of Appeals, conform county law to the Maryland Electricians Act of 2021, established and authorized the issuance of a low-voltage electrician's license authorized third-party plan review for photovoltaic system permitting, and generally amend the county electricity law. A Transportation and Environment Committee work session will be scheduled at a later date. We have several public speakers for this public hearing. Our first public speaker is Atticus Cosgrove. Is Atticus Cosgrove here? Oh, virtual. We don't see Mr. Cosgrove here virtually, so why don't we move on to Tom Clark.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, Vice President, and members of the council. My name is Tom Clark. I am a licensed electrician and the political director of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. The Bill 1222 has a good intention to solidify a journeyman's license, a statewide journeyman's license, just like the Maryland Electricians Act. But like the Maryland Electricians Act, Maryland Electrician Act took 9 legislative sessions to pass. A simple bill for a statewide electrician, but what had happened is there was low voltage language like in here in 1222, which is apples and oranges. Low voltage, and the writing of this says its service means installation, repair, or maintenance of electric equipment or any parts thereof. I really worry about when we have a low voltage electrician doing licensed fire alarm work. Fire alarm, the wires itself are low voltage, but it's sending signals to the power system, lighting, the heating vent, and most importantly, the fire pump. And these are 480 volt systems. they're high, dangerous voltage. I would ask that the low voltage language in this bill completely removed. Then you can have a statewide and solidify Montgomery County with the statewide. But to have a low voltage electrician working high voltage stuff that controls high voltage stuff, it's a runaround and it's a safety hazard. So I would appreciate. I do oppose this bill, and I'd appreciate if we could rewrite the whole thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Next, we will hear from Krista Tichy.
Good afternoon, council members, council president. I read over this bill, and I was asked also as a member of IBEW Local 26 and an electrician here in Montgomery County and a master electrician. And when I read this over, as it says, low voltage electrical services means the installation, repair, or maintenance of electrical equipment, circuits, or systems, or any parts thereof, designed to operate at or below. When you say at or below 50 volts, it can be somewhat misleading, because the intention then would be something that is below 120 volts, which would be your standard, what you would have in your home and in your household. However, what's not mentioned there and what we need to take a look at is the intention of what it actually does and what it actually controls. When we control low voltage fire alarm cable, which is installed, it needs the exterior jacket to be removed. The splices have to be placed under contacts, relays, and switches. And these switches, in turn, control and initiate the function of equipment, such as a fire alarm pump, which has already been mentioned, that runs at 480 volts with a 600% overcurrent protection. That is designed to run until it burns up that pump. So these are serious safety issues that we can't look away from. And if any or even one of these splices is compromised, or if it's not, the jacket is not removed correctly, and that breaks at any given point, because these are small, delicate wires that go from 16 gauge up to 24. And if it's not installed correctly, the results would be catastrophic. I have to agree with IBEW Local 26 that this bill needs to be, I'm not in favor of it. I do have ideas on alternative means that we could work with in low voltage. Classically, it would be below 50 volts. I'm referring more to 30, but that would be futuristically, and I would be more than happy to assist in the creation and of that with you folks. When it comes to TV, when it also comes to cable, we're talking about connections that are also made like of small little glass. They're very intricate, very detailed, and the tools are required, are important.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Your time is up, but we do appreciate and value that testimony.
Thank you, folks. Thank you.
All right, that is it for our public speakers for this public hearing, and so this public hearing is now closed. We move on to agenda item number 5. This is a public hearing on Bill 1422, Police Private Security Camera Incentive Program established. This bill would establish a private security camera incentive program within the Montgomery County Police Department, specify eligibility rules and administrative requirements for the program, and generally amend the law regarding policing and programs to support public security. Public Safety Committee work session is tentatively scheduled for July 28th. We have speakers for this public hearing. And our first speaker is Susan Laban, who will be testifying virtually.
Yes, hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, great. So hello council members and president, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I presume we all agree on the goal of this bill, to reduce crime. I'm here to ask for an amendment to this bill so that any taxpayer money, funding, vouchers, or rebates can only be used on cameras that do not emit radio frequency radiation. When this council was considering ZTA 1907, some members of the council felt uncomfortable talking about effects of radio frequency radiation because of a provision in the Federal Telecom Act. This Bill 1422 is not subject to this provision of the Telecom Act, and the council should not feel constrained to discuss the considerable scientific evidence on the effects and harms of radio frequency radiation. As some of you are aware, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit ruled in August 2021 that the FCC has not considered the body of evidence available in the past 25 years, and that no expert agency has done so either. Not the FDA, not the CDC, not NIH, and not EPA, despite some members of this council asserting otherwise. Some government agencies have posted FAQs on their website talking about safety, but the court specifically ruled that the FCC could not rely on these websites. There was no recent scientific report supporting such statements, and that the FCC's reliance on these web pages is a violation of the Administrative Procedures Act. If a federal appeals court says it is illegal for the FCC to rely on these websites, why then do members of this council believe the county can rely on these websites? The council should not be using taxpayer dollars to purchase devices that have harmful impacts on health and the environment. This bill should be
Ms.
amended.
Laban, thank you so much for your testimony, Ms. Laban. Your time is up. I believe we have your written testimony. We will review the rest of it. Thank you very much. Next, we will hear from Scott Dyer.
Good afternoon, President Albornoz and members of the County Council. I'm Scott Dyer, President of Montgomery Village Foundation Board of Directors. Montgomery Village is a community of over 12,000 homes and 40,000 people, plus several commercial centers. We are thankful for the service of 6th District Commander Eric Stancliffe and his officers. They are serving our community extremely well. We appreciate the council's work to develop this bill, which we think will both deter and solve crimes. This will be another tool for the police to use in their efforts to solve crimes. We believe that the rebates from the county will be an incentive for many more residents to install cameras, leading to a safer community by providing a strong network of surveillance resources that will function as both a deterrent and an investigatory tool. I might add that MVF will benefit from this bill as we have community centers and other public facilities that would be good locations for cameras, and we would be happy to work with law enforcement to explore the best camera locations. I'd like to thank the council for all your good work and also recognize the county's public safety officers and staff for their service. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dyer. Now we will next hear from Robert Janku.
Robert Janku here to ask the council to amend this bill so that the vouchers can only be used to purchase cameras that do not emit radio frequency radiation. There are many low-cost alternative cameras. A simple memory card that runs on a loop, wired. Based on the data transmission rate, one wireless security camera is equivalent to 3,000 smart meters. I want to address some of the statements that council members have made on this topic. Council member Reamer at council meeting on July 27, 2021, referred to the National Cancer Institute, FDA, and CDC, saying that they have all arrived, and I quote, the same conclusion that radio frequency has been found not to be dangerous, even though DC Circuit found that none of these agencies submitted an opinion to the FCC regarding the long-term effects of radio frequency radiation. The DC Circuit ruled, contrary to council members Reamer's statement, that the silence of an expert agency does not constitute a reasoned explanation that is compliant with the Administrative Procedures Act. Council member Albornoz, the council meeting on July 13, 2021, referred to federal agencies conducting extensive research on the safety of radio frequency, even though the DC Circuit ruled that no agency has done so. Also consider whether county could be liable for the effects of products purchased with county funds, knowing that cell phone radiation reduces male fertility. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. 2 minutes on the nose. Next, we will hear from Theodora Scarrato, who will be also testifying regarding number 9.
Thank you. I'm testifying on to amend 1422 so taxpayer monies are not used for camera networks which emit wireless microwave radio frequency radiation, and also to oppose the over $2 million MCPS appropriation for the purchase of wireless hotspots. The public inaccurately assumes that, of course, federal agencies have thoroughly evaluated the science on the effects of wireless to children's brain development and thoroughly evaluated the science on impacts to trees, wildlife, and pollinators. But the fact is they simply have not. During council meetings, inaccurate statements such as that federal agencies have reviewed all the science have been repeatedly presented. Fact 1, the FDA has not shown a systematic review of the totality of the science, such as damage to the brain, to the thyroid, or reproductive organs, nor has the EPA, CDC, NCI, WHO, or American Cancer Society. If you think that they have, then try to find such a report. Fact 2, the EPA was defunded from setting safety standards in 1996. That's when the U.S. actually set wireless radiation limits from industry-filled groups. They were designed for humans, large men, not bees, birds, and certainly not trees. And it is a fact that there's never been any federal agency evaluation of the research on environmental impacts despite accumulating science showing damage to trees, plants, and pollinators. The reality is that there is no up-to-date scientific research review, period. Wireless radiation exemplifies the concept of a regulatory gap. There was no pre-market safety testing, no post-market surveillance for health effects. There's no federal measuring of the ambient RF levels in communities or in schools and homes. And there has never been a federal evaluation of the cumulative effect of long-term exposure, nor was there ever, or is there, a federal research review or reviews that consider the totality of the current science or assess if FCC's current 1996 adequately protect the public, especially and specifically children, from brain damage, despite an ever-accumulating body of independent evidence showing harm. So would you fly an airplane with safety regulations last reviewed in 1996, or have your children take a drug that literally hundreds of scientists are warning you about, and which has never been properly evaluated for safety, and of which there quite literally is no federal entity with health or environmental expertise in charge of the ambient radiation? AT&T and Verizon have mobile protection plans that state coverage is excluded for pollutants, and they define pollutants to include non-ionizing microwave radiation. So why would the council support measures that allow this pollutant into the homes of school children and neighborhoods? There's no safe level of lead because for children, there's no amount of brain damage that is acceptable. Studies have linked radiofrequency radiation to damaged memory and decreased brain cells. So what is a safe level for children? What is a safe level for birds or bees? The federal government has never investigated that issue. The county should be educating school children on how to minimize RF exposure, and instead of purchasing wireless, they should have safe technology so kids can connect at home without this radiation. Safe technology exists. I'm using it right now. And as the feds have dropped the ball, the council has a responsibility to ensure the community is safe. In fact, my letters to the Montgomery County website were actually key evidence in our lawsuit against the FCC, because I have documentation from the FDA and NCI clarifying that their safety determinations, that they do not make safety determinations on the totality of the science. I also wrote the council regarding the inaccurate information presented at council meetings, such as that the FDA has reviewed all the science and have never received a response, nor have any corrections gone out to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Catherine McKetson.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here to ask you to amend this Bill 1422 so that the funds used on cameras that emit radio frequency radiation that they're not used on cameras that emit this radiation. These cameras are an example of the ubiquitous wireless devices that are now available on the market. The issue of ubiquity is important as many of the older studies upon which this current FCC standards rely were done decades ago, when a high level of exposure was considered 6 minutes per day. A camera broadcasting 24/7 is, of course, much more than that. In last year's court case, Environmental Health Trust v. FCC, which was decided just weeks after this council voted for ZTA 1907, the court ordered the FCC to review the totality of the evidence, which has not been done by any expert agency in the U.S. government, including 1, the effects of RF radiation on children, 2, the ubiquity of wireless devices, and 3, the impacts of RF radiation on the environment. In this court case, 11,000 pages of evidence documented effects on children whose skulls are thinner and absorb more radiation and whose brains are developing into their 20s. The effects on children and the environment, including birds, bees, pollinators, and trees. The council should require an environmental and climate impact statement of any legislation that would increase radio frequency emissions in the county. Thank you for considering this amendment so that county funds under this bill are spent only on cameras that do not emit radio frequency radiation. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. That concludes our speakers for this public hearing, and so this public hearing is now closed. We now move on to agenda item number 6. This is a public hearing on expedited bill 1922, bond authorization. This bill would authorize the county to issue certain bonds, authorize the bonds, and bonds previously authorized to be issued to be consolidated for sale and to be issued, sold, and delivered as a single issue, and generally amend the laws of Montgomery County 2022 regarding bond issuance. Action is scheduled for later in this session. There are no speakers for this public hearing, and so this public hearing is now closed. That moves us on to item number 7. This is a public hearing on 2022 through 2031 Comprehensive Water Supply and Sewage Systems Plan. A Transportation and Environment Committee work session is tentatively scheduled for July 25th. There are speakers for this public hearing. I first call on Mr. Bob Eisinger, who will be testifying virtually.
Good afternoon. My name is Bob Eisinger. I'm a lifelong resident of Montgomery County. I'm also the owner of the old White House. I'm testifying to request that the council include an amendment to the county's 10-year comprehensive water and sewer plan that creates a new commercial sewer policy specifically applicable to the Crossroads area of Trevilla. The Crossroads area of Trevilla, intersection of Trevilla and Glen Roads, location of the Potomac Oak Center and the old White House, has long supported, over 170 years in fact, local convenience commercial uses. A commercial sewer policy for this area of the county would fulfill the vision of the Potomac Subregion Master Plan, which affirmed the continuation of commercial uses at the Potomac Oak Center and recommended appropriate special exception uses, aka conditional use, such as a country inn for the old White House property. The commercial sewer policy would also promote a more robust mix of neighborhood retail at the Potomac Oak Center to better serve adjacent residential communities, and it would facilitate an economically viable reuse of the old White House property, a historic asset to the Trevilla community that is worthy of protection. I want to remind the council that your Planning Commission chairman blessed our application before COVID, a long time ago, to upgrade this intersection, stating it fit perfectly into the county's planning, and expressed his opinion that the council should find the way to implement it. And the T&E committee unanimously approved the application. Thank you for your consideration of our request.
Thank you very much, Mr. Heisinger. Next, we will hear from Guy Semis, and I apologize if I pronounced your last name incorrectly.
Yes, thank you. And it's Guy Sims. And I am, good afternoon, council members. My name is Guy Sims. I am a lifelong resident of Montgomery County and the owner of the Potomac Oak Center. I am testifying to request that the council include an amendment to the county's 10-year comprehensive water sewer plan that creates a commercial sewer policy specifically applicable to the Crossroads area of Travilla also. The extension of community service to the Potomac Oak Center and the old White House sites would create a vibrant local destination with historic character and a true sense of place that would enhance and build upon private and public investments in the area, such as the Glenstone Museum and the Greenbrier Community Park. Community sewer service, the cost of which will be borne by the property owners, can be extended in a manner that does not disturb wetlands, stream buffers, or other habitat, but within the Travilla Road right-of-way. Existing low-density residential areas of the county, such as Travilla, deserve smart growth in the form of a more sustainable, localized commercial center that can offer a functional and attractive gathering place and destination for the community. I'd like to a point of reference is that we had a note is that several neighborhood supporters who registered 2 weeks ago were unable to testify, and so they will be sending their support for the same amendment in writing. Also, a list of speakers was never posted before the meeting. But thank you for your consideration of this request.
Thank you for your testimony. Next, we will hear from Sayam Ainain.
You're muted.
You are on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Siham Ainani. We requested a sewer connection to Outlet A, which is adjacent to Lot 2 that we live on. According to the county map, the lot is buildable provided the connection is available. If we consider a connection transfer from Lot 2 to Outlet A, the Aberdeen Main's policy exemption we would fall under requires us to transfer land between two lots. The policy does not specify from which lot to which, nor does it specify the size of the area to be transferred and what would happen if our septic system failed in the future. This will only result in months of administrative procedures and a high cost for us and has nothing to do with whether the lot is buildable or not. The lot is not currently fenced and is subject to vandalism. We have several letters from our immediate neighbors in support of our application. This respectable council had deferred action on our application and encouraged us to prepare a concept plan for submission to and evaluation by the DRC as recommended by the planning board. We hired CAS Engineering to prepare a concept plan. However, they were advised by the DRC coordinator that the DRC would not consider reviewing the concept plan until the council approved a sewer connection. The preliminary conclusion reached by CAS Engineering is that the lot meets current zoning in terms of area, frontage lot, width at the futon BRL, etc., and that there is room for a house and driveway. I would like to add some clarifications. As indicated on the county map and according to CAS Engineering's conclusion, the lot is buildable. The lot is not within the Piney Branch watershed. In its response to the DRC inquiry, WSSRC clearly stated that there were no potential issues with the connection. There are no similar situations in the county that we could identify. All the relevant documents attached to my detailed written testimony. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Next, we will hear from Kenneth Bauer.
You hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Kenneth Bauer. I'm representing the West Montgomery County Citizens Association. Some of the changes in this plan are quite obviously in direct response to owners requesting special favors. I'm referring in particular to the special favors hidden in plain sight for 2 property owners on Boswell Avenue and 1 on Piney Meeting House Road, as you just heard from the last speaker. This is a slippery slope whereby government, by laws and regulations, is becoming government by special favors. As with the last update, this new plan goes out of its way to codify rules that promote sewer sprawl. We have provided in our written testimony a list of 16 changes we would like to see in the plan. Among these are, just to mention some of them, removing all special favors, removing the Potomac Peripheral Sewer Service policy, revising the abutting mains policy, allowing holding tanks as an alternative to sewer hookup for existing failed septic systems, removing the goal of restoring county streams using so-called stream restorations, requiring more robust public notification of sanitary sewer overflies, revising definitions in these septic system problems section, since frequent pumping is neither defined nor is necessarily a public health problem, removing bogus language in Chapter 4 on septic system problems based on exemptions derived from a misapplication of the Glen Hill study, revising misleading and erroneous wording in Appendix C on exceptional service policies, and creating special protection areas to protect drinking water sources. All of these are necessary, straightforward changes to policies that cannot be justified on either common sense or environmental grounds, especially with regard to protecting water quality. And let's dispense with the myth that septic systems are more polluting than public sewers. In 2021, WSSC spilled 8.7 million gallons of raw sewage. And finally, regarding service to the Potomac Oak Shopping Center and the old White House in Potomac that you just heard about, we oppose any changes which grant special favors to anyone, especially outside the planned sewer envelope. And we don't care who blessed this in the past. So please see our detailed written comments on this, and thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Bauer. Next, we will hear from Peter Doherty.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to testify. I'm here today representing hundreds of homeowners in Glen Hills and my neighborhood, Potomac Highlands. We're asking for 3 changes in the water and sewer plan. 1, remove the requirement to verify a failed septic system before homeowners can request a septic survey. 2, resume the North Potomac Highlands septic survey. And 3, implement the county mandated requirement for a limited master plan amendment as ordered in Resolution 18423. In 2018, the Council made the change to Resolution 18423 that imposed the failing septic system requirement. This change passed by 1 vote without serious consideration, effectively preventing homeowners from asking for a survey. Waiting for a verified failure that triggers a public health emergency is akin to waiting for investigators to determine the cause of a house fire before you can even call the fire department. The need for these surveys was clearly demonstrated by an earlier survey completed before the requirement changed. The survey of the South Overly Drive portion of our neighborhood showed that 82% of the properties would not be able to replace septic systems. The Council approved sewer service category changes, allowing the homeowners to begin planning to install sewer, which they must completely finance. This complicated process is still ongoing 5 years later. This demonstrates why homeowners in this area need access to studies long before their systems actually fail. As part of the change to 18423, the Council also instructed the DEP to stop the North Potomac Highlands survey that began in October 2017, the year before. This happened after a DEP public meeting that identified constraint areas on a map showing specific properties with no suitable location for a replacement septic system. We, and I'm among these people, are now in the untenable position where we and the public know that when our aging systems fail, they cannot be replaced. Resolution 18423 ordered the Planning Commission to produce an amendment to the 2002 Potomac Master Plan addressing the septic issues in Glen Hills. Then the Council declined to fund that work and asked DEP to work on an amendment. It hasn't happened yet, as far as we know, but it needs to happen before the septic problems get worse. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. That concludes our speakers for this public hearing, and so this public hearing is now closed. That moves us on to item number 8, which is a public hearing in action. This is a supplemental appropriation and amendments to the county government's FY23 capital budget and FY23 through 28 capital improvements program, Montgomery County Public Schools, major capital projects secondary in the amount of $12 million. There are no speakers for this public hearing, and so this public hearing is now closed. I'll turn it over to the chair of our Education and Culture Committee to make any comments. The committee does recommend approval. Chair Rice.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and I see Mr. McGuire there, sorry. This is something that I believe is pretty much pro forma in the sense that when we're looking at major capital projects like this and Neillsville Middle School that we know has continued to have tremendous challenges, we already identified as a priority. This is recognizing the additional expense that is incurred, unfortunately, as we've seen with many capital projects. And so just recognizing that is why we didn't even bring it to the committee for an analysis, as we do understand that we're seeing this across the board with all of our projects, all of our government projects that we have funded. So with that, certainly like to recommend and make a motion for approval.
Okay, we have a motion made by Councilmember Rice, seconded by Councilmember Navarro. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor, please raise your hands. And that is unanimous among all those present and virtual. Thank you. That moves us on to item number 9. This is a special appropriation to the county government's FY23 capital budget, an amendment to the FY23 through 28 capital improvement program, CIP, Montgomery County Public Schools, technology modernization in the amount of $2,077,854.96. Source of funds is the federal E-rate reimbursement. There are no speakers for this public hearing, and so this public hearing is now closed. Ms. Rodriguez Hernandez is in the audience, but I don't believe there are any questions or comments regarding this item. Can I get a motion to accept this special appropriation? Oh, my fault. I am so sorry. I missed that. We do have a virtual speaker. I need to reopen the public hearing for item number 9. And we do have a speaker for this public hearing, and that speaker is Ms. Laura Simon. My apologies, Ms. Simon, I missed that. You have 2 minutes to present your testimony.
No problem. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. As an MCPS parent, I'm very concerned that we are patting ourselves on the back for putting children first, but there's not enough action behind our words. I'm opposed to the MCPS technology modernization bill because I don't think it puts children first. Children have a right to internet access, and I know the intention is good here, but there needs to be more thought with respect to public health if this is to be rolled out. We can no longer ignore that this is not just a technology issue, it's a public health issue, and top scientists and doctors have spoken loud and clear that the time is now to reduce exposure. The Journal of the National Cancer Institute just published a letter by experts, including the former director of the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, Linda Birnbaum, and Hugh Taylor, doctor and chief of obstetrics and gynecology at Yale New Haven Hospital, which concluded that the majority of animal and cell studies have found non-ionizing RFR, that's radiation, non-ionizing radiation can induce oxidative stress, which is a key characteristic of human carcinogens, in a way that it can initiate or promote tumor development as well as play a role in the development of other diseases. That said, the good news is that there are steps that can be taken to ensure we are safeguarding the health of children. We have a responsibility as humans that if we put something in someone's home that could affect their health, the families have been informed rather than staying silent, because that tells parents that it's safe, when we have enough evidence now from the best doctors and researchers that to know otherwise. An independent public health specialist could work with the county and MCPS to put together a precautionary approach to reduce exposure that would address such issues as: what is a hotspot? How can you turn it off when not in use? Why would you want to? How can you minimize radiation exposure? Where is the safest place for a hotspot in the home? Can you plug in an Ethernet cord into the hotspot and avoid radiation exposure? It's important to close the digital divide and homework gap. We all get that, but it should not come at the expense of the health of the children or possibly affect their long-term health. Modernization of technology must combine the necessity of access to technology with the obligation we have to protect public health. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Simon. Again, my sincere apologies, but appreciate your testimony. So with that, there are no more speakers for this public hearing, and so this public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion to accept this appropriation?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Rice. Seconded by Councilmember Friedson. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor of this special appropriation, please raise your hands. That is unanimous among all those present and virtual. All right, thank you. That moves us on to the next item on the agenda, which is legislative session day number 19, introduction of bills. The first bill for introduction is expedited bill 2122, weapons, firearms in or near places of assembly, and the lead sponsor is me. So let me just provide a little bit of background and context, and then see if any colleagues would like to make comments. So we all saw with great concern the Supreme Court decision several weeks ago to strike down the policy that had been established in the state of New York that requires an additional background check for people trying to obtain conceal and carry permits. With that additional step, one has to explain why they are making such a request on top of all of the other restrictions, which include being over the age of 21, not having had issues with mental health, and also red flags laws as well. Not long after the Supreme Court made that decision, Governor Hogan, just a little over a week ago, without any consultation with local jurisdictions, made the unilateral decision to strike down the state's law, which is similar to New York's, not giving us much time before the General Assembly meets in January to be able to get in front of this issue here. There was reporting done as recently as this weekend that state police, which manages the process by which carry and concealed weapons licenses are requested, has already reported a significant rise in those requests. And as we have seen, and as Chief Jones recently spoke to before this body, we have seen a significant rise in gun violence here in our community, and we have seen a significant rise in gun violence across this country. There are many reasons for that increased violence, but what seems to me to be clear is that more guns is not the solution. And as Chief Jones noted, one of the potential unintended byproducts of this policy moving forward is that people with more weapons will, when some sort of conflict arises and you enter a gun into that conflict, often tragedy results. And I believe guns create infinitely more problems than they ever even attempt to solve. And so what this bill would do is amend the current county provisions within the zone text amendment that require that there not be weapons within places of within 100 yards of places of public gathering. But at the moment, people with carrying concealed licenses are exempted from that policy. And what this bill would do is no longer allow that exemption, but still allow law enforcement officials and also security officials who are required to wear light weapons for their jobs to continue to be able to do so. We fully expect, and I have had conversations with Senator Will Smith as recently as yesterday morning, as well as Attorney General Brian Frosch, that the General Assembly will immediately pick up this issue when they convene back in January. But we feel strongly that we can't wait until then or take any chances on the passage of that bill to help ensure that we keep all of our residents safe. And I apologize, colleagues, I know several of you have signed on to be co-sponsors, and that is not reflected in this packet because of the manner in which we had to introduce this bill immediately after the governor's comments and action. And so anybody who'd like to speak or be listed as a co-sponsor, I welcome you to do so, certainly. We do have Councilmember Friedson who wishes to speak.
Yeah, just very briefly wanted to thank you for your leadership on this. I know we're all just trying to process what is happening at the national level and now even at the state level, and certainly pushing back and doing what we can within the limited but significant power that we have at the local level is important to limit the overwhelming number of guns that are in our community that are clearly making us less safe. And so I just appreciate the opportunity to co-sponsor this measure. It's just part of what we need, significant partnership, as you noted, with our state partners, with our federal partners, recognizing that our powers are limited, but where we do have power and where Maryland law specifically allows us to regulate the possession of certain firearms within 100 yards of a place of public assembly, we should do all we can to do our job, which is to keep our residents safe. So appreciate your leadership on this and look forward to us moving this forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I've got a number of colleagues in the queue. I've got Councilmember Reamer, followed by Councilmember Katz, then Council Vice President Glass, then Councilmember Jawando, and then Councilmember Navarro. And Councilmember Rice as well.
Council President, thank you for taking the initiative to bring this bill before us. It's an important step to try to do anything we can to tackle the scourge of gun violence, and I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Katz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I echo what has been said. Thank you for your leadership on this and many other items might we add, and I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Great. Council Vice President Glass.
Thank you, Mr. President, for putting this forward as you have with legislation and zoning text amendment regarding ghost guns. As you have noted, we are limited here in the county council with what we can do to keep our residents safely protected, but it is our partnership and strong working relationship with our partners in Annapolis to make sure that we do everything we can to keep our residents protected, and this is one step in that direction, so thank you.
Thank you, and it's noted Councilmember Navarro had requested to be added as a co-sponsor prior to this, so she is a co-sponsor as well. I now turn over to Councilmember Jawando.
Yes, and I think I was on that list too.
Yes.
Wanted to be added, so I think you're going to
Yes.
9 for 9 before we're all done here. This is an important bill. We're going to thank Council President for putting it forward. We have to act at every level. This is an emergency situation. I had the good fortune, or not so good fortune, but good fortune, I think, overall, to be at the White House yesterday when the President commemorated with a group of gun violence survivors and folks who have dealt and had family members killed by mass shootings or gun violence, to commemorate the significant action, the first in 30 years at the federal level, of federal gun safety and regulation. This doesn't do everything. It's going to give us some resources eventually to trickle down to enforce red flag laws, make sure people who don't have guns shouldn't have them. There's mental health funding. There's finally a federal law making trafficking of guns illegal. The daily gun violence that we see in communities, disproportionately communities of color, for guns that were trafficked in, much like drugs, were not brought in by the people who eventually end up with the guns. They're trafficked in. And so this is a good step at our level of government to say that we will not accept this. We know we live in a world where there's more guns than people in this nation, and that we do not want them near places where we can have this type of violence. And I appreciate the Council President putting forward. I'm disappointed in Governor Hogan's action. He had a chance for leadership here and didn't utilize it, but we're going to do what we can at our level to keep folks safe. So thank you, Mr. President, and I would again formally like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Thank you. And Councilmember Rice is...
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I'd just like to be added as a co-sponsor. I don't need to pile on to the comments that are made by my colleagues that I agree with, so thank you.
Thank you, and I'll note that Councilmember Hucker is a sponsor as well, so that is unanimous. All right, thank you all. So that bill is now introduced. A public hearing is scheduled for July 26th at 1:30. That takes us on to item number B, which is expedited bill 2022 2222, Landlord-Tenant Relations, Limitations on Rent Increases. Lead sponsor is myself at the request of the county executive. Ms. Wellens, if you could just speak to this item.
Certainly. Thank you, Mr. President and council members. Expedited Bill 22-22, Landlord-Tenant Relations Limitations on Rent Increases, would impose a temporary limit on rent increases and notifications of rent increases by landlords in the county. It would provide for a 6-month limitation that notices of rent increases would be limited to no more than 4.4% increase. During the 6-month period, the landlord would be precluded from notifying a tenant of a rent increase that exceeds 4.4%. As a result, rent increases of more than 4.4% would be precluded for 9 months after the bill's effective date. There is a public hearing scheduled for July 26th.
Thank you very much. Again, the public hearing is scheduled for July 26th. I see Councilmember Jawando would like to speak. Councilmember Jawando.
Thank you, Mr. President. Appreciate the bill being introduced. Appreciate the county executive sending it over. This, just for clarification, appreciate the advocacy on this bill. This would extend a previous policy that we had put into effect that expired in May, realizing that unfortunately we're still in the pandemic and we're still seeing this new variants and the cases rise and the economic and on top of that inflationary pressures on residents. We had a town hall last week where we heard from several renters virtually that expressed deep concern with their inability to pay increased rent. We heard from Rose, who's the mother of 6 children, who's living in a 1-bedroom apartment because she could not afford the rent increase on the 3-bedroom to live properly. This is for the landlords. We have a big county, and there's many landlords and property owners that are doing the right thing, like forgiving rent and letting people work out assistance over time. But the fact remains, there are many, almost 40% of our county who rent, who do not have protection when they receive a 10, 20, 30% or more increase. And this would give us some time to stop those increases that have been issued since May 15th, which would go into effect if they were issued that day on August 15th. And so I hope that we can not only have the public hearing on the 26th, but that we can also take action to prevent those increases while we figure out what we're going to do going forward. And I hope we can work with colleagues to do that. So appreciate the advocacy of many, and I know CASA and others are here, and I want to acknowledge your commitment to this issue, and we're going to take it seriously and take it up, and hopefully we can provide this relief. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Jawando. We certainly echo that appreciation of that advocacy. It is critically important. So that bill is now officially introduced. That takes us on to item number 11, which is the call of bills for final reading. The first bill calls, I need a motion for a roll call vote. This is expedited bill 1922, bond authorization. Public hearing was held earlier in item number 6. Can I get a motion to move us to the roll call vote? Moved by Council Vice President Glass. Seconded by Councilmember Friedson. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Katz?
Yes.
Mr. Katz votes yes. Mr. Jawando?
Yes.
Mr. Jawando votes yes. Mr. Reamer?
Yes.
Mr. Reamer votes yes. Mr. Hucker?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker votes yes. Ms. Navarro?
Yes.
Ms. Navarro votes yes. Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes. Mr. Friedson?
Yes.
Mr. Friedson votes yes. Mr. Glass?
Yes.
Mr. Glass votes yes. Mr. Albornoz?
Yes.
Mr. Albornoz votes yes.
All right, let the record show that expedited bill 1922 passes unanimously. That moves us on to item number B, which is expedited bill 2022, Office of Food Systems Resilience as established. I'll just note and once again thank all of my colleagues, but the executive branch especially, for moving so expeditiously to establish this critical function, which will help ensure that we have the most robust system of food resiliency in this country. So this is I need a call for motion and then a roll call vote. Moved by Councilmember Rice, seconded by Councilmember Navarro. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Katz?
Yes.
Mr. Katz votes yes. Mr. Jawando?
Yes.
Mr. Jawando votes yes. Mr. Reamer?
Yes.
Mr. Reamer votes yes. Mr. Hucker?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker votes yes. Ms. Navarro?
Yes.
Ms. Navarro votes yes. Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes. Mr. Friedson?
Yes.
Mr. Friedson votes yes. Mr. Glass?
Yes.
Mr. Glass votes yes. Mr. Albornoz?
Yes.
Mr. Albornoz votes yes.
All right, so let the record show that passes unanimously as well. That moves us on to Bill number 322, Legislative Branch, Climate Assessment as Required. The Transportation and Environment Committee recommends enactment. I'll turn it over to Councilmember Hucker to make some comments, and I will follow him. I was happy to work with him on this.
Indeed. Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank you for introducing this bill with me and all of my colleagues for co-sponsoring it. I want to thank Ms. Wellens for all her hard work on this bill and all the advocates and stakeholders that we heard from in the Climate Action Coalition, including Karen Mitches and Carl Held and Adam Roberts and the entire coalition. We all know what a serious threat we're facing in terms of climate change. It's an existential threat to our society. We have an obligation to ensure that the policies we're enacting and introducing will have a positive impact on the community for generations to come. We already have a racial equity assessment of all our proposed policies. It only makes sense to have a climate assessment as well. And so I was happy to work with you, Mr. President, to introduce this bill. The Transportation and Environment Committee moved it forward, and we're happy to have an amended bill in front of you for consideration by the full council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hucker, and I do want to take this opportunity to acknowledge our Office of Legislative Oversight, who is such an outstanding partner and already does fantastic work in their racial equity analysis. And this falls in line with helping to ensure that this and future councils have their eyes wide open and consider all of the various ramifications on these critical bills that we work on every day. And I know all of us feel unanimously about the importance of addressing the existential threat that is climate change and acknowledging steps that we have to take here at the local level. So with that, this does have a T&E recommendation, and so we can go straight to the roll call vote. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Katz?
Yes.
Mr. Katz votes yes. Mr. Jawando?
Yes.
Mr. Jawando votes yes. Mr. Reamer?
Mr. Reamer texted me, he said he might have to step away. I guess he did, so he will be coming back to acknowledge his vote later.
Thank you. Mr. Hucker?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker votes yes. Ms. Navarro?
Yes.
Ms. Navarro votes yes. Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes. Mr. Friedson?
Yes.
Mr. Friedson votes yes. Mr. Glass?
Yes.
Mr. Glass votes yes. Mr. Albornoz?
Yes.
Mr. Albornoz votes yes.
Let the record show that that passes unanimously among all those present. So that takes us on to item number 12, which is also an action. This is a resolution to consolidate previously authorized notes for sale and issuances as a single issue. Mr. Smith, could you just describe this briefly?
Sure. So the council just adopted the expedited bill 1922, which increased the amount of bonds that the county can issue. This resolution that implements that bill. And so that's it.
Great. Can I get a motion to accept that resolution? Moved by Councilmember Katz, seconded by Councilmember Hucker. No discussion. All those in favor, please raise your hands. That is unanimous among all those present. Thank you. That takes us on to item number 13. I would like to ask for a motion to suspend Rule 7C so we may act upon the resolutions on the same day they were introduced. This expeditious action is needed to designate the early care and education coordinated entity prior to the confirmation of appointees. A call for motion to adopt the resolution will be next. Can I get a motion to suspend the rules? Moved by Council Vice President Glass, seconded by Council Member Navarro. All those in favor, please raise your hands. That is unanimous among all those present. Ms. Yao, welcome. So we just had a very exciting press conference to discuss this critically important action. I'm going to yield to Councilmember Navarro to make some comments. I just want to give her one more opportunity because she deserves it. She's put in a lot of work in this.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. And yes, we had a really wonderful press conference where we heard from many, not all, but many of those who have been so integral to this particular moment. This definitely, I think, marks a historic day in Montgomery County because it really, in my opinion, brings together all these stakeholders, namely our public and private sectors, to begin the really important work, which is to scale up our early care and education space and to ensure that our principles of racial equity and social justice are applied. As we all know, that the academic achievement gap that we have been talking about for so many years really is already present when children enter kindergarten because of the challenges around accessing quality early care and education. We also discussed how this is very much tied to the future competitiveness of our county, our state, really our country, when it comes to making sure that we have a prepared and qualified workforce. But that early care and education touches every single policy issue that we work on here on this particular body. So this is really big. We did, in my opinion, reinvigorate our early care and education space in 2019 when all of us came together to work on the plan, the 4-year plan, which had metrics that actually have been met even through the pandemic. And with historic investment, if I think now total maybe $30 million, I think. And this is the culmination of that process because now we can forge ahead with a particular entity that will be responsible for ensuring that we can attract and leverage public dollars with philanthropic and private sector money, but also look at innovative best practices and other things that we can do to ensure that this is a vibrant space. So as I said at the press conference, for me, this is full circle. It was one of those items on my agenda that I really wanted to check the box. And I want to thank everyone from the executive administration that worked on this issue, Montgomery Moving Forward, who, as it was said before, did something extraordinary, which was really to engage the private sector. We're very lucky because that is always a challenge around this nation. And Montgomery Moving Forward was able to do that beautifully. And the county council, who has come together as well with the Community Foundation, MCPS, et cetera, to craft, in my opinion, one of the most resilient early care and education spaces in the state. So first, gratitude to all my colleagues who have been working on this for a very long time, and also for everyone who has worked so hard in my office. Berta Sersosimo, who's always been my sidekick in this issue, and Vivian Yao, who has been patient in figuring out the many different iterations of this particular issue. And lastly, the leadership of COF, the Children Opportunity Fund that started as an idea with always the goal of it being the experiment, the container, so that one day we can get to this point. And Kimberly Rusnak has done an extraordinary job in guiding that process. And now the Children Opportunity Fund is evolving into what it was always intended to be. So thank you, Mr. President, and thank all of you. And I can't wait to see all the wonderful things that will happen as a result of this action.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Navarro. I'll just say a couple things because so much was said earlier downstairs, and now that this is truly a public-private partnership. This has been a true collaboration and partnership to get to this point. And I was there when the Children's Opportunity Fund was initially conceived, developed, and acted upon, and have been very impressed with their work these last few years, and do also very much recognize Ms. Resnick's leadership in that regard. And just acknowledge this is an important step forward, but now we have to ensure that it is adopted with fidelity. And I hope, along with my colleagues who have the opportunity to come back to this body, to make sure that happens. And we are committed to absolutely doing that. So thank you all very much for your leadership. So colleagues, once again, this is a resolution to designate the Children's Opportunity Alliance of Montgomery County as the county's early care and education coordinating entity. Can I get a motion to adopt that resolution? Moved by Councilmember Navarro, seconded by Councilmember Rice. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor, please raise your hands. And that is unanimous among all those present and virtual. Thank you all. Councilmember Weimer, did you want to go back to the other items before?
Yes, thank you. Please, I'd like to be recorded in the affirmative on the items that we previously voted on. I believe I voted for item B, 2022, but I'd like to be in favor of 322 and the action to consolidate the bonds, please. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. The next item is item number 14. This is an introduction of a resolution to adopt the proposed amendment to county charter, general provisions, conflicting charter amendments. The lead sponsor is myself at the request of the Charter Review Commission. Public hearing and action is scheduled for July 26th at 1:30. Ms. Wellens, did you want to introduce this topic?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. If approved, the resolution that's before you would place on the 2022 general election ballot a Question A. Question A would ask voters to decide whether to amend Section 507 of the county charter regarding what happens if, during an election, voters approve two different charter amendments that conflict with each other and cannot both take effect. Under the current law, neither amendment would take effect in that scenario. Both of the amendments would fail. So under the proposed charter amendment, only the amendment with the highest number of favorable votes would win and amend the county charter, then the other amendment would fail. As noted, the Charter Review Commission recommended that the council place this question on the ballot for 2022. You heard from the Charter Review Commission on June 21st when they presented their report, and they included this recommendation, and they have a thorough discussion of the recommendation in their report. I'll also note that our new attorney, Ms. Sacconi, will be joining me on the 26th to provide you with more in-depth information about this potential amendment at the time of the public hearing and the potential adoption. I'll also note, Mr. President, that as you may recall, the Charter Review Commission also recommended making some amendments to the charter with respect to residency requirements for the county executive and council members. Council staff would recommend studying this more in the fall because we do have I think it's fair to say, kind of arcane state law that might need to be amended prior to us going down that road. And obviously, we do not want to place something to the ballot that's just going to cause confusion about what the residency requirements are. So I believe that's it, Mr. President. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wellens. So once again, the public hearing is scheduled for July 26th, and this resolution is now officially introduced. That takes us on to item number 15, which is a resolution to adopt a proposed amendment to the county charter, county attorney removal procedures. The lead sponsor is myself. Public hearing and action is scheduled for July 26th. This was based on a very thoughtful recommendation made by our outgoing council attorney, or county attorney, and Ms. Nadeau, if you could speak to this.
Hello, council members. So the resolution before you would add this question to the ballot. The way it stands currently is the county executive appoints the county attorney, and then the council confirms that appointment. But only the county executive can remove the county attorney. This creates, as stated in the letter, a fear of reprisal, because it could give the impression that the county attorney only represents the county executive. So under this resolution, both the executive and the council would have to agree to the removal of the county attorney. So the way the resolution is drafted, a supermajority of the council could remove the county attorney, and the executive would have 15 days to agree or disagree with that decision. And then in the vice versa, the executive could remove the county attorney, and a majority of the council would have 30 days to agree or disagree. The difference in time is because it's going to be 11 people deciding versus one person. So that is the resolution that's before the council, and similar to the other charter amendments, this will have public hearing and action on the 26th.
Thank you, Ms. Nadeau. So that is now officially introduced as well, which takes us on to item number 16. And this is an introduction of the supplemental appropriation 23-9 to the county government's FY23 operating budget, Department of Health and Human Services, for assistance to access abortion, reproductive health, and related services in the amount of $1 million. Source of funds is general fund undesignated reserves. Ms. McGuire, I will turn it over to you to introduce this topic.
Thank you, Mr. Albornoz. The executive did transmit this supplemental appropriation for the council's introduction today, and the council is tentatively scheduled to hold a public hearing on this item as well as consider action on July 26th. The staff memo does include background information as well as an outline of some possible approaches for the council to take in its deliberations on the 26th. There is no vote anticipated today or required today. However, staff will review very briefly some of the material that's in the packet in order to have that be informative for the public in terms of coming back for if there are any comments that they would like to provide at the public hearing on the 26th. So again, just wanted to highlight that this transmittal was sent by the county executive in the wake of the June 24th Supreme Court decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health. And certainly this decision has raised concerns among many, and council members have spoken to their concerns about this issue in previous actions. Councilmember Glass did write to the county executive requesting advanced planning in May, and Councilmember Navarro sponsored a resolution that the council unanimously adopted, emphasizing the importance of supporting reproductive rights and abortion access in the county. Those materials are included in your packet for reference. At this time, my colleague, Ms. Clemens, will give a brief overview of some of the status of legal parameters at the local, state, and federal level.
Thank you, Ms. McGuire. Hello. I'm just kind of going over things in our packet and giving a state of things in the county, state, and federal, is that there is approximately 8 providers that are known and verified to provide abortion services in Montgomery County, abortion services including both medical and/or surgical. In the state of Maryland, there are 11 surgical abortion centers, and they have to be licensed. And out of those 11 surgical abortion centers, 4 are located in Montgomery County. In earlier 2022, the Maryland General Assembly, established the Abortion Clinical Training Program. The law took effect on July 1st. This has been the biggest expansion of abortion care that has happened within the state in a number of years, and it expands who can perform abortion procedures, which will include nurse practitioners, physician assistants, and midwives. The State General Assembly also allocated $3.5 million for training related to the measure, but currently Governor Hogan is withholding those funds as part of the FY23 budget process. They will be released in June 2023, but the hope is that the governor will release them early. And from a federal perspective, last Friday on July 8th, President Biden adopted or signed the executive order protecting access to reproductive health care services. He then, has requested the Department of Health and Human Services to provide a report within the next 30 days on information on steps to safeguarding access to medication, abortion, and emergency contraception, protecting patient privacy, and then also making legal representation available to women who are seeking abortion services no matter what state that they live in. And then just to highlight things that are happening within the region, most of our neighboring jurisdictions are considering or have passed bills and resolutions supporting access to reproductive health. For example, one of the jurisdictions has pledged grants to organizations that provide abortion and family planning services, where another jurisdiction has enhanced public information on reproductive resources and women's health in that county. So in general, most of our governing bodies in the region want to ensure that they are a safe haven for people needing reproductive health services in their respective areas.
And so just as certainly as has been outlined, this is a very dynamic and changing landscape there. A number of responses that are being put forth regionally, nationally, and certainly also the impact of the decision will continue to be felt and emerge over time. The county executive's transmittal was very broad in its approach and in its language. And again, I think on behalf of executive staff has stated that that approach was intended to reflect the changing dynamics and to be able to respond quickly to needs that may emerge over time. Nonetheless, council staff does recommend when the council returns on the 26th, the council may want to consider further refining and clarifying the language in the resolution to avoid duplication with existing programs and services, and also to ensure that the funds support providers who offer services that are in keeping with the intent of the resolution and of the appropriation. To that end, council staff has offered two options, again, for future consideration in the packet. One option would, if the council is interested in being more specific and tailored around particular grant purposes and allowable awards, the council could specify those in the resolution. The second option, if the council is interested in maintaining a broad range approach and maintaining that flexibility, council staff has recommended language that again is more tailored but still reflects that broad stroke approach and the broad range of allowable purposes, but again tailors that language to be more clear around providers who may be eligible for these funds and for the purposes that are intended in the appropriation. Under both options, that council staff also suggests that the council may be interested in supporting a comprehensive needs assessment to better understand the gaps in services, the barriers to access, and other needs that may emerge again as the impacts continue to roll out over time, regionally, nationally, and locally. Also recommends that the council receive reports from the executive branch on the application and implementation processes for the grant awards. So again, that concludes our summary of the information in the packet. And again, we would anticipate bringing that information back to you on the 26th.
Thank you. I have two colleagues that have requested to speak, Councilmember Navarro, followed by Councilmember Reamer.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Ms. McGuire, thank you so much for that presentation and for the update. I did take a look at your two proposals, and I can look forward to the conversation. It seems to me personally, because we're talking about $1 million, which it is a good amount of money, but in the scheme of things, probably it's just the start. I would be more inclined to support option 2, which does include some refinement, but I think it does provide for that flexibility precisely because I feel like we are in a crisis mode and therefore would like to make sure that we have a little bit of flexibility and give that to the administration. Of course, I'm also trusting that those who would be in charge of determining, the assistance, et cetera, understand, the department heads, what exactly it is that all of us are intending to do. So I would like to provide that kind of flexibility. In terms of the needs assessment, are you proposing that needs assessment, sort of the funding of the needs assessment come out of this $1 million, or are you thinking more about a broader sort of effort that is not necessarily tied to the $1 million?
Certainly, I think either could be accomplished. I think that some amount of funding, if the council were interested in an external party, for example, conducting a needs assessment, some money could come from this $1 million. Alternatively, the department certainly could be charged with doing that work as well.
Okay, because I once again, because I do believe that we're in a little bit of a crisis and no doubt that we're going to see a major increase. $1 million seems like a lot of money, but it's not. And when we start talking about needs assessments, that can be quite costly. And so that would be my only caution, that I think when we come back to have that conversation, if we're interested in a needs assessment, that it's a little bit more comprehensive, which I don't think it's a bad idea. We may want to think about how that will be funded, but I would be a bit concerned about taking that out of this particular proposal, because again, I think that we should brace ourselves for quite a bit of an influx of, and requests for that kind of support. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Reamer, followed by Council Vice President Glass.
Thank you so much, Mr. Council President. I'm really pleased to see this appropriation before us today. And as as you may know, on June 30th, my office held a town hall on abortion access in Maryland, and we were really fortunate to have Delegate Ariana Kelly join us and a panel of physicians and abortion services providers. And that full program is available on the County Council's YouTube channel. It's just an hour long, but I thought it was a very helpful discussion. Picked up a lot of good information and insight about some of the challenges that are going to be ahead of us. Some of the key takeaways were that abortions and services, related services, are legal and they're available in Maryland, and that's not going to change. But there is a lot of uncertainty about how changes in other states could impact service providers here in Maryland. We're driving distance from many, many states that are likely to restrict abortion care, and maintaining the standard of care and the availability of care that we have come to expect as residents of Maryland and Montgomery County, and that we want all Americans to be able to achieve, is going to require some careful monitoring and action in the coming months and years. We got a lot of great questions and suggestions during the discussion, but there was one that I wanted to bring to the body and suggest that we find a way to implement through this appropriation, and that is around the workforce challenges. You can't create a trained healthcare worker, at the drop of a hat, and a lot of the clinics are now struggling with workforce capacity. But around the country, they're saying that about 25% of all clinics are going to have to shut down. And so there will be many, many employees who are now displaced from those clinics. And we could do something to help those doctors and nurses come to Montgomery County, and to, whether that's through relocation assistance for the individual practitioners or even an entire clinic. We could help them relocate from a low-cost area to Montgomery County, which we know is quite expensive. And so it would be a terrific way for us, in an emergency way, if there are needs of other practitioners who'd like to come here, to be able to bring their services and their capacity to the county. So I wanted to just ask the council staff to, as we proceed, bring some language to the body that could help us implement that idea, and we'll consider that when we take action on the 26th. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Vice President Glass, followed by Councilmember Friedson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm heartened to be here having this conversation and reaffirming our county and our community's commitment to reproductive health. This is a really important conversation, and what we're doing today and starting this process is important for all of our residents to know, and for individuals in other jurisdictions to know as well. And I appreciate Ms. McGuire and Ms. Clemens for your work on this, and particularly the collaborative approach, recognizing this is an emergency. This needs to move quickly through the process, but we need to get it right in this moment. And the historic moment, quite frankly, we were at an HHS committee session discussing the budget the day that the leaked opinion started circulating on social media, predating or predetermining the overturn of Roe v. Wade. And during that budgetary conversation, which was about public health and healthcare funds within the Department of Health and Human Services, I specifically asked the Director of Health and Human Services what this could mean, and it could mean to us, and more importantly, that we needed to start planning for it. And again, this is a manifestation of it, our commitment to making sure that everybody has reproductive health care. And with regard to the specific proposal, I think it does need refinement, and I appreciate the comments from my colleagues sharing their perspectives on what we need to do. And one particular concern that I have is about affordability, especially for low-income women. And I think we need to find a way to expand eligibility to individuals who are experiencing financial hardship in order for them to receive and have access to abortion services. And the two options that you presented, again, I appreciate that. I think they remain a little broad, and over the next 2 weeks or so, we'll have conversations with you as we've been having in the last week or two as well, to maybe see if there is a third option where we can blend this to make sure that everybody is covered. And we do so in a way that allows these funds to be used as quickly as possible, recognizing time is of the essence. And so I appreciate your work, appreciate my staff's work, and look forward to working with my colleagues and the county executives team to get this money out the door to help protect everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Friedson, followed by Councilmember Rice.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for this conversation. I think it's a really important and timely conversation, an unfortunate conversation in many ways. I'm heartened, that we are having this conversation to a certain extent, but I am disparaged and disappointed and dismayed for why we're having the conversation based on everything that's happening that many didn't think would ever be happening. And yet here we are feeling like we're taking some significant steps backwards and trying to fight back against that backwards movement, so to speak. I do want to thank the work that has been done here. Thank Councilmember Navarro for her resolution in support of Roe and the statement that we made there. Thank Council Vice President Glass for his letter that he initiated that I was very supportive of, and I know the council broadly was supportive of, to the county executive looking at these issues specifically, and thank the executive branch for their work on this. This is a conversation about health care and access to health care. I think we've been caught up in this political environment where things are being twisted and turned around, but ultimately this is about whether or not people who get pregnant, people who may get pregnant, people who are considering getting pregnant, have access to adequate health care. Restricting access to an abortion doesn't make abortions not happen. It just makes them dramatically less safe for people who get pregnant, particularly for vulnerable people who get pregnant, especially people of color, especially low-income people. And so that's what we're talking about here is healthcare. And when it comes to healthcare, this body has a proud history of stepping up to help people access healthcare. The prior council and some of our predecessors who led the way on this, and this council has continued that tradition. And we have on numerous occasions gone with the spirit of providing care to those who need it and not asking too many questions and not forcing too many obstacles for them to be able to access that. And so as we have this discussion, what is before us today, I'd be far more inclined to go with option 2 as has been presented. I think some reasonable refinements are appropriate, but I hope that we continue in the spirit that this body has always taken since I have been here and long before I got here, that when it comes to access to health care, we are as accommodating as possible. We put as few obstacles in the way of it as possible. We provide as much flexibility to the partners that we work with in order to make sure that everybody who comes to our county, everybody who lives in our county, everybody who is part of our community has access to the health care that they need. So I look forward to the conversation next week. I'm open to other thoughts and ideas, but I hope we come at it with the spirit of being as inclusive and accommodating as possible so that people can get the health care that they desperately need. Thanks.
Councilmember Rice, followed by Councilmember Joando.
Yeah, so I'm happy that Councilmember Friedson brought up safety because it reminds me of back in 2017 when we had Dr. Carhart that was operating in Germantown and had tremendous safety issues regarding access. And so as we're talking about that, we also need to make sure that we're also providing the resources to protect the individuals that are seeking their reproductive rights, because I think that it's going to be incredibly important for us understanding that rogue organizations like Operation Rescue and others will be adamant, as they were before in 2017, of attacking and trying to, in their ultimate goal, shut down and deny anybody access to these facilities. They have been very explicit in terms of what it is that their objective is. So it is not just about ensuring that we have the money to be given to perform any kind of health procedure that we feel is necessary to support our constituents. But it is also about ensuring that there's safe passage to be able to do so. And so from that standpoint, I think that there's more strategy that needs to be at play. I know that a number of other jurisdictions have done some other types of things that we had talked about doing as a council back in 2017, but then things subsided. But we may need to dust some of those things off of the shelf and make sure that we have those that are commensurate with what it is that we're looking to do here. So just wanted to put that out there as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Jawando, followed by Councilmember Katz.
Thank you. Also appreciate the work on this. It's so important. You know, it's disheartening, as was mentioned. On January 18th, I presented a proclamation right here with all of us recognizing the 49th anniversary of Roe v. Wade. And just a few months later, I think May 3rd or around there, we got the leaked memo of the court case, and obviously the horrible news last month. And I want to thank Councilmember Navarro for pushing this forward. I want to thank the Council President for us having a quick and swift statement against this action. But it's a reminder that even things that are nearly 50 years old, freedoms that we think we have, can be taken away. And this is a healthcare decision. We live in this world right now where we're telling women what they can't do with their bodies, and then we don't want to support with the services that people need. It's important to remember that reproductive health is contraception, it's family planning, it's men seek services from a lot of these organizations to support their loved ones. This has far-reaching, it impacts 100% of our residents. Disproportionately, obviously, are women in their own bodies. So I'm glad we're taking the steps. When polled, I said option 2 because of the flexibility, but open to work with colleagues on additional flexibility to make sure that we're covering all our bases. And I do agree that this is probably going to need to be, unfortunately, we need to put more money into this because there's already discussion of people coming to places that are safe havens where healthcare is accessible to everybody. So we're going to stand and do our part and work with our state and federal partners, but appreciate the work. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Katz.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And all of my colleagues have said it well. I'm not going to repeat it, but I too believe that option 2 is the option we should be considering, though I think all have said that I would be flexible in other discussions as well. It really is hard to believe that we even have to have this conversation, and others have said it, but in this day and age that we are actually having this conversation is beyond sad. It truly is. And was mentioned about the safety aspect. We need to be concerned about safety in every way possible for all topics, I guess, but especially this one, the healthcare side, those seeking services, to make certain that everyone knows doing the services, that they're safe and that they perform those services in a safe manner. So I certainly look forward to the discussions, but I do believe at this moment option 2 is the best option that we have. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, everyone. So, Ms. Clemens, Ms. McGuire, it looks like it's pretty clear in terms of what the preference is of the majority of the council. So, thank you all very much. That special appropriation is now introduced. All right, that takes us on to item number 17, which is a resolution to extend the time for council action on Thrive Montgomery 2050 from July 18th to close of business on September 16, 2022. Once again, this is a administrative function that needs to be done. This is not a signal that the council in any way is delaying enactment of Thrive or reconsidering its position on it. This simply gives us additional time necessary to complete the work that the consultants presented to us just a couple of weeks ago, and we will be taking this issue back up again when we return in the fall. So can I get a motion for this resolution to extend time for council action on Thrive? Moved by Councilmember Katz, seconded by Councilmember Rice. All those in favor, please raise your hands. That is unanimous among all those present and virtual. And that takes us on to item number 18, which is our consent calendar. Can I get a motion to accept it? Moved by Councilmember Rice, seconded by Councilmember Friedson. Any discussion regarding the consent calendar? Oh, Councilmember Friedson and Councilmember Joando.
Yes, just very briefly, it's been a packed afternoon here, but a lot of weighty issues. And one weighty issue that we have on the consent agenda is a resolution to adopt the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's definition of anti-Semitism, a really powerful statement that we are making as an entire county council to push back against the rise in anti-Semitism, to continue the efforts that have been made here repeatedly. And I'm very proud to have been part of a body that has really spoken out against anti-Semitism, discrimination, and all forms of hate. We are seeing far too much of it in our community, and we will have more conversation about it next week, but I just wanted to note that and we have the Jewish Community Relations Council is here. Hi, Deb. And we've been working with AJC and been working with ADL and a number of other organizations, and have been working in lockstep as well with the county executive. So I want to thank the executive branch as well, thank colleagues. I think this is a really powerful and important statement, and just wanted to note that and thank everybody for their strong support.
Thank you. Councilmember Joando.
Yes, I appreciate it. I agree with that statement by Councilman Friedson. A lot of important things here. I just wanted to point out and thank OLO for their work on a report that's being released here and the consent calendar on prosecutorial decisions. I'd ask that they look into the current data system about how the state's attorney is collecting information, and they disaggregate it based on race and ethnicity and age and all the factors that we need to know to see trends and disparities. And while I hope we will be able to take this up in public safety at some point in the after the break, it was the basic upshot was that we don't have the information, and that it's not being tracked and it's not being prioritized, and that we need to track it. There are some top line measures that we know from federal data. For example, that of 55% of the folks incarcerated in the county are African American, despite representing about 18% of the population. We know that for youth of color are disproportionately pretrial detention. That means they're incarcerated prior to trial, and that the 90% are youth of color that are incarcerated before trial, and 100% of children charged as adults in Montgomery County are youth of color. So we know we have some significant issues. Well, we have some great programs like diversion and drug court and mental health court, but we don't know accurately, because of the lack of data and focus on it, who's being diverted, who's being given these great opportunities. And so I think this is a really important report in that it talks about what we don't know and what's not being collected, and the fact that we're lagging behind in this area of other jurisdictions in the state. We've had data in Montgomery, for example, for over 10 years, but unfortunately we have not had the prioritization in this office. So I just wanted to raise it and appreciate the work that Mr. DeFazio and his colleagues have done on this, and hope that we can take it up at a later point. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. We've got Councilmember Navarro, followed by Councilmember Rice.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I wanted to comment on item K, because as we today voted on the early care and education coordinating entity, now the important work begins with the appointment of members of the board who are going to really, I think, pave the way to make sure that this entity actually takes off and it does comply with the goals that we have stated. And so I want to congratulate Dr. Raymond Crow, Billy Otero, Dara Vance, Deborah Lambert, Sonia Pruneda Hernandez, Wayne Chris Saxton, Chandra Curtis, Tanisha Miles, Theresa Ramsarup, Vernisa Brody, Mirna Peralta, Tiffany Jones, Sobia Qureshi, Sir Kevin Beverly, Patricia Rupert, Hanan Han, William Hedgewood, and Nora Morales. I want to congratulate them and thank them for their service, and can't wait to see what they're going to be able to accomplish in this new adventure.
Thank you. Councilmember Rice, followed by Council Vice President Glass.
Well, thank you very much. Speaking of new ventures, the Ignite Hub is a part of our consent calendar, and I'm really happy to announce that we are actually starting to get into the meat of what the Ignite Hub is about, and hiring some student fellows as well as teacher fellows, ensuring that the career coaching and pathways get stood up, as well as IT training funds. So all of this is incorporated as a part of this additional funding. I just want to remind folks who may have questions, this is not a Montgomery College entity, although it's on Montgomery College's campus, which is why we still need to appropriate. So for all of my colleagues who shall return, please remember that when it comes to them asking, while Montgomery College has been very gracious by certainly standing this up on their property in their building, this is a county asset and something that I really am anxious to see continue to take off, and remind folks of our partnership with Apple. The Naval Surface Weapons Center is actually interested in doing some work, and I'll be touring, meeting with them on Thursday to talk specifically about some of the opportunities we may have with them and with the Ignite Hub. So it is very exciting to see the potential that's there, and so I just want to encourage my colleagues to continue to keep pushing this. This is going to be a great thing that continues to reap great benefits for our county residents, especially our young kids. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Rice. Council Vice President Glass.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to go back to the council's resolution on anti-Semitism and appreciate Councilmember Friedson for putting it forward and working with all of us to have it be introduced. And quite frankly, I'm saddened and angry, and as a Jew, I'm scared that we have to keep doing this. It seems like every few months we issue another resolution decrying anti-Semitism, yet also supporting and promoting the diverse community that we all call home. And just this week, 3 churches in Bethesda were desecrated, 2 set on fire. And so while we introduce this resolution to show our continued support for members of the Jewish faith, we also send a signal that we celebrate our diversity, and we are dedicated to making sure that everybody feels safe in our community, having the freedom to worship safely, to be themselves as they walk around our community. And it is unfortunate that we have to keep doing this, but something's got to change, and we're going to be here continuing to make sure that everybody feels safe. Thank you, Mr. President.
That was really well said. These are difficult times, and I associate myself with all of my colleagues. It's hard to put one step in front of the other right now, but we have to continue to try. And so thank you all very much for your leadership. Truly appreciate it. So with that, colleagues, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the consent calendar, please raise your hands. And that is unanimous among all those present and virtual. I'll close just on a note, just reminding our public, we are in the midst of an election, everyone. And so please, early voting is open through Thursday at 14 locations across the county. Please visit the Board of Elections website to find out where those locations are. You may also vote on July 19th, and you have until later this evening to submit your request for a mail-in ballot. And so it is not too late to do that as well. Many different options to vote here in Montgomery County, and I want to thank our Board of Elections, who is working tirelessly to help ensure that we have a yet again election here in Montgomery County with fidelity, and our county residents should know and trust that there are some remarkable professionals working on that on our behalf every day. So please go out and vote, everyone.
Today I can confirm no lines.
Yes, yes. And there's 3 different stickers to choose from this time, my understanding. So that's right. All right, colleagues, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.